Yeah, I've seen people have gargoyles, lions. I've seen a lot of dragons. I've seen dragons on people's entrances. I've never seen two soft little kitty cats. Yeah, I've never seen two soft, sweet little kitty cats. Are you guys trying to intimidate somebody? There you go. Enter at your own risk, everybody. Enter at your own risk, or else. Hey folks, Lester here. Hanging out with Dixie, and I got all the farm animals here with me. Today I'm going to start off my work here at Longhorn Lester's by mowing the grass and then some fun tractor work. Let me turn my camera around and show you what I got planned for today. So I've already come up and done all the morning chores. I'm going to leave Carl and the babies in the big pasture. This is the first time I'm doing this. You guys are gonna be fine. They have plenty of water. I've already fed them. And I'll be back in the afternoon, I promise, okay? And we'll do all the normal afternoon routine. Just take care of the babies, y'all. So they're good. This is the first time leaving them though. You kind of worry. Just can't help but worry. All right, so I've just finished cutting the grass, and I wanted to show you that hydro seeding, or if you remember, this hill over here was completely barren of any grass whatsoever. And so all of this is grass that survived the drought. Now, of course, I did a little bit of water sprinkling over here. I kept the sprinklers going for a while, enough to keep the grass alive. It still has a couple of bald spots in it, but the yard looks really good when it's mowed. I can't mow over here. I have way too many stumps. I'll eventually have to either rent or buy a stump grinder. You see, I've tried to burn the stumps out, but guys, it has taken me so many small fires. It's just too much to burn. I want to walk over and show you the other side of the hill though. So no grass will ever grow here. There's never been grass here. I think these trees are way too thick. But this looks really good. Looks really good. Jamie's doing some garden work. It's a lot of yard to mow. It is a lot of yard to mow, but when it is cut, it looks really, really great. Ooh, it's dusty, but look how pretty everything looks when it's mowed. I texted my son Lex earlier, and I says, guess what? Today is the first day that I'm gonna mow the entire yard over here at Longhorn Lester's without your help. Because y'all know that he'd been helping me all summer. That was one of his chores. Once we started having the drought, we stopped, getting rain and our yard started dying, we stopped mowing. I stopped mowing. And so Lex come off pretty good this summer. I think he mowed, how many times Lex mowed? About 4 or 5 times? Yeah. Lex mowed this side of the yard about 4 or 5 times. And that was actually pretty easy because early in the spring, man, we were mowing it at least once a week. And so once the summertime hit and Lex came to spend his 45 days with me, he only got to mow about 4 or 5 times. So he got lucky. But man, it's my first time to mow it all. And it sure looks pretty when it's all cut down to size. I'm hoping that the grass will grow back here. It's too much yard to water. We have to conserve our water, even though we have well water that comes out of the ground. We still use it for our watering troughs and for watering down our babies. Those are the essentials, the most important things to do around here. And we really can't afford to use water to, water the grass. We can't. We just can't risk burning our well up. Because these babies need it more than our grass does. Seriously, they do. These babies need it more than our grass does. But I'm hopeful. We've had a couple of inches of rain over the last few weeks. We've actually got more rain at I'm a Survivor than we have here at Longhorn Lester's. But that's that job. I've always learned from my dad that whenever you're done using something, that's when you refill it with fuel. When you're done using it, that's when you take the time to refill it with fuel. How foolish is it to wait until you're ready to start mowing or using some kind of equipment And that's when you like, let me check the fuel. And at that point, what if you don't have the fuel? You gotta go to the store and get it. So no, I always learned to refill everything, at least your fuel, when you're done using it. So that's a habit that I've never let go of, and I'll probably always do that. Mama got lots of help today. Mama has lots of help in her garden. The problem is they want cherry tomatoes and we don't have any growing. We've already plucked them all. They don't get that. They're like, where's all the cherry tomatoes? The garden was a lot more fun when there was things growing on it. These two are not getting along. Tilly does not want anyone else on the porch besides her. She just can't handle that Tats coming to the porch. Tilly, you might want to run, Tilly. It's one thing to scare off one of the dogs or cats, but you're not going to scare off Big Tat. She's going to try. Ah, Tilly won. Looks like Ringo's up and going today. That's good. We have to get a refill on his prescription, and I've neglected doing that. But he's moving around pretty good. He got that little bit, he walks like his daddy, his human daddy. But he's making it. I'll get that refill today if I get home in time. Come on, Pickles. We're going down that hill, friends. We're going down that hill. We're gonna do it early. Look how much weight Pebbles has lost. And then Brady, I'm gonna tell you the goats that I can notice them. Well, I mean, they've all lost weight. They're down to a whole lot healthier weight now. But guys, that's not really what we're doing today. Oh, that is not what our plan was. I'll never get them out of there. Come on, littles, let's go. Come on, babies. Come on, littles. That is not what our plan was right there. Man, that was a bad mistake. That was bad on my part. Maybe the ostriches will run them out of there. Come on, littles. Come on, Pebbles. That's a good girl. Follow Daddy. Come on, Pickles. Maybe the ostriches will run them out of there. So, I'll tell y'all, Jamie has been doing some research on our little Native American thing, our situation. And man, she has learned some really interesting stuff about the land here. So you all know we're in a part of the Big Thicket National Forest, okay? Come on, littles, let's go. So we're in a part of Big Thicket National Forest. If you ever want to look any information up on your own for your own research and study, and what we discovered is that this part of Texas, the original inhabitants, the Native American inhabitants of this area, were rejects and exiles from two different Indian tribes. The Caddo, that's spelled C-A-D-D-O, and the Karankawa, or maybe it's Karankawa, I'm not sure how to say it. Now, you had two different Indian tribes, and listen to me, y'all, even the Native Americans had issues with members of the tribe. And so in their justice system, they would exile, kick and ban the tribe members. Pebbles, are you the only one going to join me this morning, baby? That's my good girl right there. And so listen, so what happened was a lot of them exiles from both tribes kind of met here in the middle. And the land here was so thick that it was hard to grow. Indians at that time, the Native Americans at that time, guys, don't judge me for saying Indians I'm not trying to offend anybody. You know that I'm not trying to offend anybody. So don't make your comment about how offended you are or how I sometimes we start talking and we just can't always remember. If you want real conversation, just let me talk. If you want real conversation, Lester, you should make it a way of life to remember. Okay. Okay, well, this is where I guess I'm going to stop because I'm not being joined by anybody, and Pebbles stopped at the top of the hill. Come on, littles, let's go! So, the Indians, the Native Americans at that time, were heavily into agriculture. And so the Karankawa and the Caddo Indians, who were farmers, they were essentially farmers who were raising corn and other cotton, man, you name it, other types of agriculture. They had pretty much abandoned the thickets, the woods. They had stopped trapping, they had stopped hunting for the most part. The furs was not really their thing. And so those exiles ended up coming back to their roots and recreating a life for themselves here. And those two tribes, the exiles from those two tribes, begin to join and, in essence, form their own tribe. Now, there was no official name of that tribe, I don't think, but they, in essence, formed their own tribe. Where then, this is awesome, where then they begin to do the trapping and the hunting from the big thickets, and they begin a trade. They begin to trade with Indians who needed the furs, the hides, and the meats that come out of the woods. And so it was a really, really neat conversation having with Jamie last night when we were talking about all that she had researched and found out. And then, how funny is it to know that our little band of misfits, our wacky pack and our misfits and all of the littles that are here, and Tex and his ragtag crew and our ostriches and all their shenanigans. Isn't that funny how we ended up here on the same land that was also inhabited by Native Americans, misfits, by the misfits from the Native American tribes? A lot of our babies have been kicked out, exiled, abandoned, let's just say, I don't know the right word to use. I'm trying to find look at me trying to be all PC, politically correct. Whenever you surrender your animal to someone, that means that you choose to no longer keep that baby as your own. Now, you have to respect folks that have enough love for their animal or their babies to understand that they deserve a better life than what you're able to give them. And so I don't judge people for offering their babies a better life. But it's really neat the way we have all these animals have come together. The rescues, those that have been surrendered to us, all of the little misfits in their own ways. And this is the same land that the Native American misfits inhabited hundreds of years ago. Mr. Dub, he's the former owner of the property. Man, he had a whole collection of Indian artifacts that he'd found over the 18 years of working this place. Mr. Pete next door has a couple of Indian arrowheads that he's found. And now I've yet to find anything. I've done a lot of digging here, but most of my digging has been straight down. I haven't done any leveling or excavating the way Mr. Dub did all them years. So I'm hopeful to find stuff over time. Guys, I'm not going to get a river walk today. I am not going to get a river walk because what's happened is the goats have said, you know what? There's a lot of leftovers here on the ground that these ostriches have not eaten. And that's true. When I put the grains out for the ostrich babies, they don't always eat every bite. Let me show you an example. And these goats come by and say, hey, there's some good grains right there. We're going to eat these. We're going to walk to the river. And so the goats have been, they were sneaky. They were very sneaky. So tomorrow, if we do the same thing, I will make sure that when I let the big birds out, I'll close the gate behind them. So when I let the goats out, they can't come in here. But for now, I'm afraid it's too late. And none of them, None of them are gonna have an appetite to go to the woods now. Will you please gonna make some room for Beverly? Will you please make some room for Beverly? No. Sorry, Bevs. So I've come out today to water down the horses and the donkey. But of course, some girls just have to be first. They've been spoiled. I don't know how a girl gets to be so spoiled. I don't know how this happens. Oh, she loves this. That feels good. All Beverly's getting is a splash off. All Beverly gets is a splash off of her. That's secondhand water. Poor baby. Sorry, Bev. It's so sad. But it's hot, guys. It's so hot. I know this feels a lot better. Come on, Beverly, you're next. Yes, she is. Make room for Beverly. Beverly, come on, baby. You let Beverly have her turn. It's hot out there. Beverly, come on, baby. It's hot. Beverly, you want some water, baby? Some real water. Not the runoff. Give Beverly some real water. Look at her. That's so sad. Beverly.
Don't let your troubles fester. Come watch Longhorn Lester.
Yeah, something like that.